Whoever is listening to the podcast on any of the audio platforms, join us on YouTube because Mr. David will be presenting a presentation so that we can understand the concept in a much better way.
But I was interviewing a 102-year-old woman named Ruth back in February of 2020, and she had such an amazing memory of her fifth birthday when she was 5 years old. I was interviewing her about the World's Fairs, which is a whole
Hmm.
nother rabbit hole. And I said to her, I said, "Hey, in elementary school, what did they teach you about the Earth?" And I never mentioned flat Earth. And she looked at me. She goes, "They taught me the Earth was flat, but then they changed it years later." So
Oh,
then we
wow.
went and we looked. We found well, actually, before her, we found another woman from Croatia that said in the 1930s, all schools taught flat Earth. So we looked up and we found microfilm newspaper articles about teachers being persecuted for trying to teach heliocentrism in the early 1900s. So this globe Earth thing doesn't go way back in history. It goes back
Hmm.
100 years
Yes. Oh.
when they hijacked our world from us. They divided us. They lied to us about our history. They think we think people lived in caves a couple hundred years ago, that Wild West was crazy. No, that was the takeover that happened. Okay,
Hmm.
there was an advanced civilization here, and it's not a theory. Just look at the buildings that were built. Look at these giant cathedrals and stuff. They were built when we had horses and buggies. We couldn't build them with today's cranes.
Yeah, it's impossible. Welcome back to SYWK Podcast, where no topic is off limits. Before we start, I would like to thank everyone for showing so much of love on my previous episode with Mr. David Weiss, where he explains the flat earth concept. If you haven't checked it yet, please do and then come back to this one. The link is in the description. Well, for this episode, Mr. David, who is an expert in the flat earth concept, will be debunking everything about NASA and how they are lying to us for so many years. And if you have watched my previous episode, I had asked Mr. David one question, and that was why the lie? I mean, why will the government lie to us? What will they benefit from it? And trust me, I was shocked to hear what Mr. David replied. And one important note I would like to tell everyone that I am not promoting the flat earth theory or blaming the government. I respect everyone's opinion, and what I feel is everyone in this world has the right to make their own point of view. Now it depends on you. What do you want to believe? So, without wasting any time, let's get started.
NASA was created because for the sole purpose of NASA is to make you think you live on a ball, which goes back to your lie. It goes back to your question, why the lie? But all you have to do is I show you that NASA's lying once, and
Hmm.
then you can unwind it to they're lying about everything. So here's a picture of a video from NASA's website of Jupiter. Okay, you got all of
Hmm.
these gassy storms. These are all clouds. This storm is bigger than the Earth. All of
Hmm.
this stuff's moving. So from day to day, do you think these clouds should be different? Absolutely, right?
Hmm.
Right? The clouds are
Yeah.
different. Well, NASA shows us this picture from 2014. This is the famous picture everyone saw. And then in 2016, they said, "Hey, look, we got pictures of the northern lights."
Hmm.
What? Right? Look how crappy that is. But if you look, every
Yeah.
cloud is the same. See this
Hmm.
cloud right here? It's
Yeah.
right there, right? Every little dot. You see that little dot?
Hmm.
It's
It's
right
the
there.
same. Yeah. Correct.
It's
Correct.
the
Yeah.
same thing, and that's over 2 years later. That tells you NASA's lying,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And we never went to the moon.
Correct.
Baja across Mexico
Hmm.
is 934 miles. That we could verify it because we can drive it, and
Hmm.
we can, airplanes are hard to verify distances because you don't know about wind speeds and airplane
Hmm.
speeds. They tell us the diameter of the Earth is 7,917. We should be able to fit eight and a half of these segments in between these two red lines. Eight and a half of those segments go right off the page. Okay.
Hmm.
So either the Earth is tiny,
Hmm.
half the continents don't exist, or NASA's lying and we never went to the moon.
That even I feel that they never went to the moon.
Well,
I think
that's good.
I believe there is a documentary as well on that. I don't know if that documentary is also true, but I just feel that they have not gone on the moon.
Well, it's not about, again, feeling is good, but seeing their deception
Yeah.
kind of says it all, right?
Mm.
So, I was alive, I was young when the moon landings happened, but this is supposedly the lunar lander
Mm.
that took off from the moon with two grown men in diapers in there and is connecting with the lunar orbiter,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
This is horrible,
Yeah.
right? You could do this in a closet.
Yeah. Correct.
Look at the motions on this thing.
Mm.
Okay. This is literally it landing. Everyone's watching this on TV, supposedly live.
Mm. Live that also.
Yeah. So a lot of people look at the space station. They're like, what about the space station? Well, these guys, excuse me, these guys were doing their little thing, and in the background,
Can see
this guy goes floating by.
Yeah.
Does he look like he's floating?
You can see a cable, I believe.
Correct. Sometimes their green screens screw up,
Yeah.
and they're they do stuff and they get caught all the time. All the time it happens. I had another one. Oh, here's one. Don Pettit is showing how you drink coffee out of a little plastic squeezable cup, but the coffee is CGI. Watch, it gets out of sync with the cup.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah, just for one frame.
Yeah,
it jumped out.
That's strange.
Strange or deceptive. Here's another woman. Look right here. Is there anything over here? See that? That's not real. She's playing with something that's called augmented reality. It's a virtual object that she's manipulating. And they actually beamed it in. Why did they do that? I don't know.
My God.
Crazy, right?
It is. It is crazy.
And watch this guy. When he goes around the corner, he fades out. You can see through him. Okay?
Someone did not do their homework right.
Yeah, he's doing this on a 0G plane. Right? And there is no right-hand turn on a 0G plane, so they had to fade him out. Here's another one. Look, you can see through his head. They're in a green screen room. Right?
My God.
Then check this out. Chris Hadfield singing. This guy's holding a microphone. They're not even in the same room. And he sticks the microphone right into his neck. Watch. It's in his neck because he misplaced it.
Yeah. Maybe when was this video released? When was this video released? When did it come out?
All of this stuff. This was not too long ago, within the last couple of years. There's so many deceptions. Everything from NASA is completely, totally fake. Two more things, and then we'll go into why the lie. So check this out. You don't see a boat on the horizon. I'm zooming in here, and all of a sudden, there's a boat right there.
Oh.
Now, when I zoom out, it's equivalent to the boat just going away. So look, you see the whole hull of the boat, right? You can see the whole thing.
Yeah.
And as the boat goes away, it disappears from the bottom up. Okay? it disappears. Boom, the hull is gone
Yes,
and the
yes,
boat
yes,
is gone.
yes.
That has to do with a few things: the angular resolution limits of our eyes, the
Hmm.
perspective with the
Hmm.
waves in the foreground, and that happens all the time. So
Hmm.
the question I have for you is, if we were in this hallway, let's say a curved hallway. Here we go. We're in this hallway, and you're standing right here where I am,
Hmm.
and you have a camera with a big zoom lens on it, or even a telescope, and I walked around that corner. Could you zoom in and see me?
No,
Of course not, right?
no, no.
Right? Of course not. So let's turn the hallway sideways. So this is the curve of the earth. If I went over that hallway, right? Could you
Hmm.
see me? No,
No,
you couldn't zoom in on
no,
me.
no, no, no.
So that proves that over water, when we zoom in on things, things disappear for a different reason, not because they're going behind a physical curve.
Correct. Yeah.
You with
It's
me?
yeah, 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 yeah. I'm
So
understanding now.
yeah, yeah, it's nice to see. It's nice to see, and then people like up in the space station, look, I have zero budget, right? And I'm
Yeah.
floating in the space station. Okay. Zero budget. Whoa. If I had some cables, some green wires, I could do a flip too.
Yeah.
There's times when they do their flips, they get caught in their wires, right?
Yeah.
They get caught in their wires. It's crazy. Crazy.
But why is the normal the normal people or the normal citizen not questioning this? I know a few people are, but why is not everyone aware
Well,
about this?
more and more people are, but it's literally because the programming is so strong. It's easy to convince, it's easy to deceive somebody, but
Hmm.
if their entire life is based on a deception, it's really hard to get people to wake up, because when you wake up to this, you have to really let a lot of things in your life die. Like, all space agencies are dead, all governments are lying, right? All schools are indoctrination. Okay. Everything that the foundation of your life is on is destroyed. But once you get through that, I'll explain why now, right?
Hmm.
So the good thing is, when I say the foundation of your world, you have no foundation. If you think you're on a speck of dust spinning out of control through an infinite, godless, or distant God universe, where an asteroid could take you out at any second, where we're running out of dinosaur juice for our cars, another deception, where there's nothing else to discover, where we submit to authority, right? You're lost. You're a lost soul spinning out of
Hmm.
control in space, when the truth of the matter is, we are at the center of creation. Okay.
Okay.
We are in a created world. We are at the center of creation, where nobody has dominion over us, where we are powerful spiritual beings having a spiritual journey here, our soul's journey. The way I look at it, like, what is a soul? A soul is in your body. A soul came here with a mission, and a
Hmm.
soul is like a piece of God, right? It's a
Hmm.
piece of God. It's our life. It's our soul.
Hmm.
And we have this conscious mind here, like, we don't know, but we have to listen to our soul. But unfortunately, the television and all of this, the crazy stuff in the world, has distracted us from our soul, and we've lost our way. So when you realize who you are, where you are, what power you have, that your thoughts create the world that you have,
Hmm.
then you take your power back. They don't want us knowing that, because when you wake up to the reality of our world, you literally unplug from the Matrix. The movie The Matrix with Keanu
Yeah.
Reeves.
Yes,
So
yes.
at the beginning, Keanu is very depressed. Something's
Hmm.
wrong with the world. His conscious mind is separated from his soul's journey, and something's wrong with the world. And then look at Keanu at the end of the movie, and Neo at the end of the movie. He found that he knows who he is, where he is, what he is, and the power of his own mind. And he's taken his life back, and he's risen above this low vibration matrix that we're trapped in. They have us living in the matrix, in this prison planet for our mind. When the fact is, there's more. There's probably lands beyond Antarctica, right?
Hmm.
What if we lived here and there's other worlds out here? Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's amazing. Here's that top down view. This This could be, again, anything beyond Antarctica. We don't know. We could just live in a dome system and that's the end of it.
Hmm.
But maybe there's more. Maybe there's other domes out there. Maybe
Yeah.
you know,
Maybe. Yeah.
who knows? What do you think about that?
Definitely, there might be there, since I am understanding about this. But the question still stands. What will they gain by lying? Okay, maybe they want to control everyone.
That's
Yeah,
big.
yeah, that is
No,
big. And
you know how they control us? They control us with lies. They have us believing we live on a prison planet. Okay, that's
Hmm.
one lie. Two, they have us believing that money is real when money is not real.
It's
Okay,
not. Yeah.
it's not real. So they control
Hmm.
us with money. They control us with you have to pay for electricity, for gasoline, right? And for
Hmm.
water. They
Hmm.
control that when water is unlimited and abundant, when electricity is free, comes right out of the air.
Hmm.
Okay. The sun is sending electricity to Earth. The Earth is electric. We live in this infinite energy system where, where the empires from the past, not
Hmm.
that long ago, knew all about this. Right. There was a worldwide civilization here called Tartaria in the 1800s. They had airships all over the earth. They were building buildings that we can't build today. You
Hmm.
look back at these buildings from the 17 and 1800s. Look at these things. They got these towers and these domes. This is
Yeah.
technology. This isn't just
Yeah.
architecture. And there
Hmm.
was a worldwide peaceful civilization. But since then, they said, all right, there was some sort of reset that happened in the late 1800s, even early 1900s.
Hmm.
And the people that took power, they know the truth. And they basically wiped out, in just a couple generations, the memory of all of this.
Hmm.
And they've literally taken over our minds and stopped us from working together. Imagine if everyone in the world today
Hmm.
united. We all said, hey, this is our world. The elite would be done. They'd be done. They'd be
Hmm.
finished. All governments would be done. We'd be like, go away, little president, peon. You're nothing, right?
Hmm.
The world, they divided us up by countries. Then they divided the countries up by regions and states and political parties and sports teams and genders. And now they're dividing the genders. And then they're now they're saying, don't touch anybody. Don't no gathering groups. And then they're censoring us online. Don't talk. Don't look at anyone's face. They're literally dehumanizing us, right?
Yeah.
Because they want to rule the world and
Hmm.
have us be their slaves.
Hmm.
That answer should, that's the why. That's why this is the biggest lie. Because with the millions of flat earthers that there are now,
Hmm.
none of them buy into this matrix. All of them have unplugged from it and taken their power back. And it's not, we still live in this world where we need money and stuff, but we're starting our own things. People, we're trading amongst each other. We're seeing the value of our lives. And there's very, there's no, the people aren't Neo at the beginning of the movie. They're Neo, somewhere in the middle of the movie and
Yeah.
towards the end of the movie.
Yeah. But what I feel is, government is just a face. There is someone behind the government.
Oh yeah, the government, they're
Yeah.
puppets. They're
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
puppets of the real people who may live in the outer space
You never know.
across the
Yeah.
plane,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? They might not even live in this region.
Hmm. And there might be this sitting there and this ruling our world. It's crazy.
What's crazy, Desmond?
Yes.
This is crazy. This is
Yeah.
crazy. Go outside. Do you meditate? Go outside, even if you don't meditate. Go out on a nice day. Go outside, sit
Yeah.
down on the grass, on
Hmm.
the sand, whatever. Close your eyes and imagine that you're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour, spiraling through a vacuum of space, right? In all these directions, and see how you feel. And then shake that off and just
Hmm.
say, okay, I'm sitting in the foundation of the universe.
Hmm.
It's not moving. Everything in the sky is moving above me. I'm, solid on the ground. And all of a sudden your spirit will lift
Hmm.
and you'll start feeling, your true power.
It wow, that this was something which will make me question a lot of things now in my life. Really,
Yeah.
it was amazing, how you explain. The another question is: has anyone
Good.
questioned NASA about this or questioned the government? Did
Yeah,
anyone?
yeah. So
Yeah.
they won't. We have Neil. I don't know if you know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is. He's like the spokesman for science, and Bill Nye. They have a bunch of actors that basically spew this nonsense. These are the shills for the government, and they
Hmm.
basically push all this nonsense. They will never talk to us. They will make video after video after video gaslighting us and straw man arguing us and saying stuff that we saying how come people don't fall off the edge, that we believe that the earth is rising at 9.8 meters per second, that creates gravity. We don't believe that at all. We could explain what gravity is way better than they can, because they don't even know what gravity is. They admit it. So, but they will
Hmm.
never talk to us because they can't. Because just a little guy like me can
Hmm.
destroy their entire argument. They got nothing.
Yeah.
Let me show you one more, because some people that are listening, they're probably like, what about how come we can't see too far? So this is Aluja, France, and we're looking out over the ocean. And out here is Mount Canigou,
Okay.
which we can't see because it's 175 miles away. So the top of the mountain should be a full mile or more below this curve, because the earth is
Hmm.
curved. Remember, just like the hallway. So
Yes.
the
Yeah.
top of Mount Canigou should be a mile below this curvature. But on 2 days a year, when the sun's migrating in between its journey and it lines up right in line
Hmm.
with this viewing spot and Mount Canigou, all of a sudden you can start seeing the mountain. Kind of looks like a cloud,
Oh,
but if you look at it, this
it's a
is the
mountain.
exact mountain, every nook and cranny. This top right there where the mouse is should be a mile below the curvature. But not only is it not a mile below the curvature, we can see the entire mountain.
Yeah.
Okay. And before we couldn't see it because its light, the light of the sunlight bouncing off of it, couldn't make it to our eyes.
Hmm.
Okay. Light doesn't travel for millions and billions of miles and billions of years. That's complete and utter nonsense. Nonsense. Here, let me show you one more. This was a drone I put up on a super, super clear day. And the sun was up here. And in 5 minutes' time, the sun went down, 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 down. And then it stopped right there. It stopped going down. If the earth was spinning, it should always move at the same
Hmm.
speed and it should
Yeah.
just disappear. But it
Hmm.
sat there, and watch what happens. It sat there. This is sped up 2,500%.
Hmm.
It sat there for 10 minutes, and then it didn't go down below the line. It just disappeared.
Disappeared.
It
Okay.
disappeared. And there was no clouds, super clear, super blue sky, right?
Hmm.
It just disappeared into the thickness because sunlight doesn't go forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
the sun fluoresces the gases in the sky, which make
Hmm.
blue, right? Here's a shot from a balloon. It's daylight over here, and it's nighttime over there,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? Pretty cool, right?
A lot of evidence which can prove that the flat is Earth.
Yeah, they're infecting our mind with cartoons.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, they control our minds with cartoons.
Hmm.
So what I tell people is, don't believe anything I say. Verify it for yourself. If you Google flat Earth, you're going to end up with the Flat Earth Society. We're not the
Hmm.
Flat Earth Society. That's a government-controlled disinformation site. All of the information is in my app, right? You can just
Okay.
point your phone here. If you're looking at this on a computer, just point your camera there. The app is, in America, it's $2.99. So you're buying me a half of a warm beer. That's fine. And I don't do this for the money. I
Hmm.
left my own business to do this and left a lot of money on the table. So I do this because right now, and what's going on in the world, this message is more important than anything else. Okay.
Yes. Hmm.
This is so important that people wake up and take our power back. Because if everybody unplugged
Hmm.
tomorrow, it's over. Their
Hmm.
their their reign is over. So, you know, if the world comes out of this insanity, what's going on now, what difference does it make if everyone still thinks they're on a prison planet? It makes no
Yeah.
difference. We'll never be free until we
Hmm.
understand that we are at the center of creation. There's more. I mean, what if, we can get to other lands that aren't controlled by these insane controllers? People would pick up and leave. They don't want us to know that that's a possibility.
Hmm. Makes sense. Have
Yeah.
you considered writing a book about it?
There's a lot of books out there. I'm not a, I have actually a coffee table book that I had made
Hmm.
that's all photos
Okay.
that just, anybody that looks at it will become a flat earther. There's a book called 16 Emergency Landings That Prove Flat Earth. It's
Hmm.
free PDF form, or you can order it from lulu.com.
Hmm.
Great book. And there's a book called The Greatest Lie on Earth by Edward Henry, The Greatest Lie Ever Told. That's the name of the book.
Okay.
I'm looking at it. The Greatest Lie Ever Told. Let me grab the book. Hold on. The Greatest Lie on Earth. Right? It's not
Okay.
thin. Okay. The
Yeah.
Greatest Lie on Earth by Edward Henry.
Hmm.
Amazing book. Right? It'll blow you away.
Okay.
This is the Bible of flat Earth. Now, Edward comes from a little bit on the biblical side, but he puts the science in there too. So if you're not a biblical guy, ignore all
Hmm.
the biblical stuff. You could ignore it.
Yeah.
Ignore it. It doesn't matter. There's plenty of science, but
Hmm.
the Bible, the Quran, they're all about flat Earth.
Oh, it's
Yeah. So there's a lot of
interesting.
books. Yeah, a lot of books. There's a movie coming out, which it's in the app under the web button. It's called Level the Movie. It's coming out in April. It's going to blow everybody's minds, right?
So it's coming this April 2021?
Yeah.
Oh.
So on the app, um, when you hit the web button right there where it
Hmm.
says Level the Movie,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
Level the Film.
Yeah.
And it's going to be amazing. It's by some other flat earthers, ODD Reality, Eric Dubay, and Hibbler Productions is putting it together. So it's going to be amazing. So there you go.
That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, it trust me, as I said before, I'm going to question a lot of things. And, when we were small, our teachers or the schools, they used to say the earth is round. I never questioned about that, never questioned about it, not even thought, not even imagined that, there can be another point of view about
Right.
earth as well. But trust me, thank you so much for
Let me throw in one
explaining
more
this.
thing.
Yes,
Let me throw
yes.
in one more
Yeah.
thing. We're told that teachers are the ones that can memorize and regurgitate the school information the best. Then they get to become the teachers. But I
Hmm.
was interviewing a 102-year-old woman named Ruth back in February of 2020, and she had such an amazing memory of her 5th birthday when she was 5 years old. I was interviewing her about the World's Fairs, which is a whole
Hmm.
nother rabbit hole. And I said to her, I said, hey, in elementary school, what did they teach you about the earth? And I never mentioned flat earth. And she looked at me, she goes, they taught me the earth was flat, but then they changed it years later. So then
Oh,
we
wow.
went and we looked, we found well, actually before her, we found another woman from Croatia that said in the 1930s, all schools taught flat earth. So we looked up and we found microfilm newspaper articles about teachers being persecuted for trying to teach heliocentrism in the early 1900s. So this globe earth thing doesn't go way back in history. It goes
Hmm.
back 100 years
Yes. Oh.
when they hijacked our world from us. They divided us. They lied to us about our history. They think we think people lived in caves a couple hundred years ago, that Wild West was crazy. No, that was the takeover that happened. Okay.
Hmm.
There was an advanced civilization here, and it's not a theory. Just look at the buildings that were built. Look at these giant cathedrals and stuff. They were built when we had horses and buggies. We couldn't build them with today's cranes.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right,
That's
Desmond.
nice. Yeah. That was nice, and it was a lovely conversation, Mr. Dave. Thank you so much, and we hope we do it again.
Desmond, great. And listen, you're going to get some people leaving horrible comments saying it's crazy, but notice they'll never leave a single fact of the flat earth, of the ball earth. Just
Yeah.
ask for one. I'm offering a free Bitcoin or 100 ounces of silver if somebody can give me one proof of the globe, just one, right? So when people, leave comments or reply to comments with just insults and stupidity, just know that insults and stupidity come from insecure, not so smart people.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode. Next week, I will be releasing an episode where I will be reacting to the comments from the previous episode and from this episode. So stay tuned and see you guys next week.